Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Well, we've got the information for you right here, and Dave's going to tell you about it.
Absolutely, guys. We use this awesome application called Anchor FM. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free.
And who doesn't like free?
Yeah, free's huge. That's what got us involved with it. Second of all, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. So you don't need all those fancy gadgets. You can have them if you want them, but not absolutely necessary.
Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other platforms.
Which is great. More people can hear us.
Who doesn't want more people to hear us?
I mean, I like to be heard.
I like to talk.
Another great thing is you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like 0 people could listen to you and you could still possibly make some money.
That's amazing.
How does that even happen? It's everything you need right here to make a podcast in one place.
It's a one-stop shop and it's all you need. Anchor FM.
Yeah, so you guys, if you want to start this podcast, go to anchorfm.com to get started. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Apogee Podcast. My name is David Carter.
And I'm back. It's Justin Bell.
Yeah, buddy, we've missed you, dude. We missed you the last episode.
Yeah, I know. Kevin did a great job,
He did an amazing job. I was super thankful that he filled in last minute. Shout out, Kev. We love you, man. But yeah, Justin, you're sounding good.
Yeah, so I don't sound like Coach O anymore.
No.
For about 2 weeks. So,
Yeah, man.
I actually had some of my employees refuse to work with me. So, because they were afraid that I had COVID.
Yep.
I was like, it's just a sinus infection, man. We're all good.
Yeah.
It's all good here.
I'm glad you recovered.
It's good to be back. I was glad that I recovered before this last weekend's events too. So it was good, really, really good. So
yes.
I'm super excited about who we have on the show today. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about them?
Yeah. Well, today we have a friend from CrossFit Greer. Let's give CrossFit Greer a quick shout out. They're still sponsoring us, so.
Forever
sponsor, right? I think both our sponsors are forever sponsors, hopefully.
Yeah.
CrossFit Greer, if you're interested in joining the gym, go ahead and contact Reagan or Jen Green. They'll give you 10% off your first month's membership if you mention the Apogee Podcast. And then we have Blitz Belts.
Yeah, so pretty sweet deal with Blitz Belts. Go to their website, build a custom belt. We've got Christmas coming up, so start saving up your dollar bills, and when you get to checkout, your promo code Apogee, APOGEE, all caps, get you 15% off?
Yep, 15%.
Yeah, so awesome deal with an awesome product. So get your lifting lover something really nice for Christmas, and get in touch with Chris over there.
They got a cupcakes belt.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Really makes you want to lift. All right, so yeah, today we have Mike McDonald. He is a member at CrossFit Greer. The little I know about Mike, but from what I've seen from the outside, Mike defines the 3 pillars of which we pretty much built this podcast off: family/friends, fitness, and faith. He's a husband and father to 5 kids, a business owner. He's worked in the mission field and most recently competed and took 18th at the Crash Crucible at Crash Fitness, which is a pretty amazing feat of itself. There were some pretty high-level athletes.
Yeah, that competition was nuts. I had a blast, but 6 events over the course of 2 days, and then I guess you guys had 7 events over the course of 3 days. 3 days, yeah.
3 days, 1 night. Oh, 2 days, 1 night.
Dude, that first event would have put me under for the whole weekend, honestly.
It pretty much did.
Yeah.
Like, after that event, I was the same soreness, very sore, the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it didn't get any worse.
It was a never-ending chipper. Like, you got to the end of the chipper and you literally had to do the whole thing over again.
I know. It was too many reps. It was fun, though.
Yeah.
I'd run into Mike back in the athlete area, and he's like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm sore, but I'm happy."
Yeah, 10 out of 10
all right,
mentally,
there it goes.
4 out of 10 physically. Like,
Right.
But I'm here, so let's do this thing.
Yeah, man. So it's great to have you on the podcast. Is this your first podcast interview?
first podcast interview. Yes, so slightly nervous. You know,
You're doing okay so far.
it's very official.
Yeah,
I haven't
man.
messed up yet.
No. And the good news is we have Harrison, and he does a great job of editing out mistakes.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
you're
all
going to
right.
sound perfect either way.
Good,
Yeah,
good deal.
We've got the best in the business. Mike, tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Where are you from? Where were you raised? What kind of family life did you have growing up?
All right. So, well, I was born in Minnesota, Minneapolis. I lived there with my mom and dad. He's technically my stepdad, but he raised me from the time I was born. And I'm the oldest of 5. So I was, the guinea pig for my parents, but they did a great job. I mean, my mom is amazing, super supportive of CrossFit and everything I do. And my family lives here now. We moved here to Greenville when I was like 14. My dad has just always provided for us, and my parents were like a good picture of what you should be like as parents.
Sure.
Every set of parents has their flaws and whatnot, but like you'd really have to like search for theirs. They provided for us. They were always good together. They didn't like argue in front of us. Just all the things that like we were raised in church and with like good, like healthy family values. My parents put up with a lot when I was younger because I was kind of like rebellious, or I had like my streaks.
Sure,
as
yeah,
a teenager and stuff. But
well, you're a bro, dude.
I was a bro. I was like a bro, and
yeah,
a dumb bro at times.
No, we've all been there.
dumb
We have
bros.
all been there. We're still there sometimes.
right.
I promise you that.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. But yeah, no, it got bad for me at times when my parents were just really consistent, and they still are. My youngest brother is 14 or 15 now, so he still lives at home. Everybody else is kind of out on their own now. But so we moved to South Carolina when I was 14, and then I moved out at 18. I joined the military, and then ended up moving to Florida, and moved around a lot until now. We're actually back here now. We moved back in May.
Yep.
Okay.
So we are kind of new back to the area, but I'm, it's familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
So what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Marines. I joined like right after I graduated high school, like right after I turned 18. I had to get like my juvenile record expunged, whatever, because I like did some dumb things when I was 17. Once that was cleared, as soon as I turned 18, I joined, went to boot camp like 20 something days later.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that was like my thing.
That's a lot of change right up front.
Yeah.
You think that was, looking back, was that the right decision for you?
Yeah. That's like, I was like super gung-ho about it. There was no other decision to be made. Like and I'm like kind of the type of person that like, my dad was a Marine, and it's in our family, so my parents were fully on board with that. Mm-hmm. But other people that would say go to college or do this or that, like whenever I made my decision, how do you say it? Like I have to learn things for myself, even if it's the wrong decision.
Yeah,
I'm really bad at taking like wise advice,
mm-hmm.
Especially as I was younger. Like if I decided I wanted to do something, I was going to do it, good or bad.
Yeah, you got to experience it firsthand.
Yeah, that's always kind of been my
for sure
way of doing things.
Well, so my little brother, I was actually a pretty good kid growing up. I was terrified of my dad. And so baseball was my life, and I had my dad at school, my baseball coach, and I had my dad at home, and both of them were pretty hard on me. And I never wanted to let either of them down. So I'm the oldest of 5.
Okay.
And so I was kind of the guinea pig.
You kind of know what
too.
that's like, yeah.
Yeah. So, but my youngest brother actually went into the military. He went into the Air Force, and he got in trouble a lot in high school. And for him, he needed that structure. Mm-hmm. He needed purpose, and that kind of gave him structure and purpose. So he actually just got out of the military, and he's a student at Harvard now.
Oh wow, great!
Oh.
Yeah, I love him to death, but he's not like a genius.
Okay,
He's smart, but
he's not smart.
When we throw the Harvard thing out, everyone's like, "Whoa!" And it's like,
there's no sibling rivalry.
Yeah, but
he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he's all right.
I'm better looking.
But yeah, so for him, he kind of needed that structure, and it kind of gave him a roadmap for, kind of stepping out of his adolescence into an adult. So
yeah, I think that's a big thing for the military. Like, it doesn't work for everybody, but I think it helps you. Like, you're not with your parents anymore. You have to follow rules. You're expected to do certain things.
Yeah.
You got to kind of learn to grow up a little bit in some areas. You know, that doesn't mean you're like matured.
Sure.
I was still like an idiot.
Right.
Well, do we ever really grow up?
I don't think so.
No, we
Probably
just
not.
we just
I
have
don't think
bills
so.
and mortgages and
Not yet.
you know, once all that stuff's paid, you go back to being a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like you still like go to the gym and like wear crazy shorts and like do what you want to do.
Right.
It's like, but now you can do what you want to do because you're paying for it.
Right. Exactly.
So-
That's like the coolest part about being an
You're
adult.
growing up with
Exactly.
grown-up money, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's real money.
Tell us a little bit about your athletic background.
So I've always been athletic, you know, so to speak. Like I always played sports, mainly football, soccer. Like I've tried all the sports. I've played baseball, you know, I've played them all, but I really liked football. I really liked soccer in high school and stuff like that. Swimming, wrestling, all of it. And even when I got into the military, like still very athletic. I kind of started to work out more. Less sport, more workout, just because, you know, you want to get bigger muscles and impress the girls or be the tough guy or whatever. So kind of get into like the bodybuilding, the bro stuff.
Right.
But yeah, always played sports, generally athletic. So I was like generally pretty good at stuff. But then like, yeah, as I got like to be 18, 19, 20, started focusing more on exercise as opposed to sport. And, that was kind of the beginning of that journey. Very quickly, like that replaced sport for me, so I really enjoyed it. It's always been a big priority of mine. And then, so for not many years, probably like 5 years, I was doing like the bodybuilding stuff.
So you're a pretty big guy right now. When you graduated high school and went into the Marines, how big were you?
So right now I'm like 200 pounds. I was like 155 when I graduated.
Right.
When I got to my like MOS training school in the military, where like you don't pay for anything, you just live on base and go to the gym and eat food.
Yeah, you just eat
I
carbs.
gained like 30 pounds in like 4 months.
Wow.
So
It's a bodybuilder's dream.
got bigger. I was just working out. That was all I did.
Just
That's
meaty,
awesome.
just
Yeah.
thick. The thick life.
Thick,
It's what we talk about on every
Talk
episode.
about it every time.
It's the best
It's
life.
the
The,
yeah.
thick life.
get down with the thickness.
Yeah, and it's that time of year. It's that time
It's
of year,
bulking
y'all.
season. It
It's
really
bulking
is.
season.
We're here.
Yeah, and you know what? It feels like we were just there. We were just here.
We're
not
almost
too
back
long
into
ago.
November, dude.
It's crazy.
I
It
know.
really
We
is.
just had that. What was it? The what is that? The proverb. The proverb fitness workout.
Gainsgiving.
Gainsgiving.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like we just had that.
We did just have it.
That's when we had the cutoff hoodies with the Apogee on it.
It was great.
It was
That
fun.
looks fun. I saw that for this year. It looks really fun.
I think it's a lift off this
You
year.
should do it.
Yeah, it's a
You're gonna
lift
do
off.
it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
With like several lifts.
Yeah, all the lifts.
That could be good.
So since I'm gonna kind of skip ahead, since we're kind of already on that fitness track, so you know, you went in the military, started practicing just general fitness, specifically bodybuilding. At one point, does CrossFit kind of come into the picture, and you know, and then I guess the second piece is, you know, how did you know, man, I really like this stuff, and I think I could be pretty good at it.
So it was like 2010. CrossFit was kind of, you know, newer, but I'd heard about it from some dudes at my battalion, and I kind of looked it up. I looked up CrossFit.com, and just coming from the background of like spending an hour in the gym, you know, 3 sets of this, 3 sets like blasting a muscle group or two, like seeing like the workout of the day, I was like, I just didn't get it. Like I didn't have a paradigm for it. I was like, is that it? Like you do that and that's it? Like I mean, what muscles are you working? You know, like I just didn't understand. And so I heard about it for a while, but then I pushed it off for a while, and or just kind of like was like, that's kind of dumb. But then I saw some of my buddies like actually looking pretty good doing it, and so I was interested. And this was like a couple of years before I started it. And then I had a friend who I actually met later on, like in the mission field kind of, and he introduced me more. Like I first did my first CrossFit workout with him, and I was like, man, that kicked my butt. That was so hard. And for most sports, and even like going to the gym and doing arm day, like everything came pretty easy to me. Like sports, I could get good at them if I wanted. Bodybuilding, like I'm not like a massive guy, but like it's easy to go do arm day.
Sure. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
CrossFit was not easy. And I was like, holy cow. So I think it just kind of like piqued my interest because like it was such a challenge.
Right.
I was like, I need to get good at this. You know, I need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like initially like the hook that set. Is that the question? Was that both questions?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, I mean, you came in and you were pretty fit in May, and you've just kind of
like
stepped
this,
it up a notch.
this last May.
Yeah.
Okay.
This last because you were at CrossFit Greer for a while. What, 2 years ago? Maybe a little longer. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because
So
you came for a while, and then you guys moved to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember you coming back and going, "Wow, Mike got bigger, Mike got stronger," and then come like July, August, it was like, "Wow, Mike got better, a lot better."
Yeah, well, I mean, I think in May was when we moved back, and I had a decent fitness, you know, like because I've been doing CrossFit for years now. And then I think honestly, it was probably like the Crash Crucible. I was signed up for it. My wife signed me up when I was at work one day. Mm-hmm. I came home to tell her like the studs that had signed up. I was like, "Have you seen these guys?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're one of them." And I was like, so I was like,
"Oh, thanks, honey. Oh, crap."
I was like excited, but
Right?
like, oh gosh.
So
yeah,
that's awesome. I want to talk a little bit more about that. So you're more like your current family dynamic. So I think one of the things that spiked my interest about you, not only are you a very fit person, but I had also heard through the grapevine that you have like 5 kids and you've been in the mission field. I want to talk a little bit about the mission field first. Well, actually, let's talk about your wife. When did you meet her? When did you guys start having your first kid? And then how did that correlate into you guys going into the mission field?
Okay, so there's when I was living here, I joined like a missionary organization called Youth with a Mission, and her parents they like oversee the schools in Jacksonville, Florida for that organization. It's worldwide. So I decided to go down there to do my school to Jacksonville Beach because I really liked her dad's like passion and just the way he cast his vision about going to these unreached people groups, people in the world that have never grow up and maybe never even hear about Jesus. And I was like, whoa, I felt called to that, felt pulled to that. So I went there, met her. She was one of my school leaders and also led my outreach trip. We went to Turkey.
So you were kind of hot for
3 months.
teacher.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went down there with 2 missions.
Like mission teacher, like mission hot.
Wait, so did you know of this girl before you went down there?
We knew who each other were. Like, we didn't like know each other.
Sure.
But I was like, this girl's captured my attention, you know.
Yes.
She's liked some of my Facebook posts.
Yeah. She must be legit.
She's into me. I was like, I'm going to go there and marry her.
Yeah.
And we were going to have a family, and it came true.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I totally was into her, and then
That's called believing into reality, bro.
yeah,
It's a real thing.
spoke it out, you know. And very, shortly after I got there, I could kind of tell she was kind of into me, and it very quickly just evolved. We got to go on an outreach together, which was a unique experience because you're in another country. You're kind of in close living quarters. You're not moved in together, right? We're trying to remain pure before marriage and all that stuff. But it was a unique way to kind of see the good, the bad, and the ugly about a person
Yeah, absolutely.
in a short amount of time. So when we came back to the States in December or January, I proposed to her shortly after.
Wow, so it was very quick.
Very quick.
How long were y'all in Turkey for?
I think it was just over 2 months.
Okay.
It was like 2 months or 3 months, something like that. So got engaged. We actually moved up here for a little bit. And I think that's when I kind of popped into the gym some.
Yeah.
And we got married then the following September. And then we moved from there. We were still with this missions organization, and then we moved to Oman, which is a country the size of Kansas next to Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Right. So it's like a little bit of it's like in the Gulf, right? So it's kind of like one of those oil countries, but not as rich as like Dubai, but like just a tier below. And so I actually emailed a bunch of CrossFit gyms in the area because I had just got my level 1 to see if I could get a job, because in order to move to the Middle East, you have to have a job, and you can't, it's illegal to be a Christian missionary. So you actually have to have a real job, and you can't just go there as a missionary, right? That you won't get a visa. So one of the guys was trying to start up his gym. He offered me a job, a really nice Muslim businessman who was like really into CrossFit, who I'm still friends with. And we moved there with our first daughter, who we got pregnant with about a month after we got married.
Got busy right away.
Yeah. We're like just going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a leap of faith right there.
Yeah.
Taking a newborn over there.
Yes.
So how long were you guys in the desert then?
We were there officially, I think 7 months.
Okay.
So while we were there, my wife got pregnant with our second, and we felt like we were supposed to come back to the States to give birth to our second. It was actually here in Greenville in the hospital. And it was totally God looking out for us, because my wife hemorrhaged really bad and like bled out almost. I mean, it was really scary. And, I don't know that it would have worked out if she would have like made it if we stayed there, because Muslims, don't receive other people's blood. So if you bleed out as a Muslim, it's like God's will for them, so, and I don't know if that's true for every single Muslim, but I know that was the case for a lot of people where we were. So I don't know if they had like blood banks and stuff,
Right.
I just feel like it was the Lord kind of protecting us and our family. And it was hard on my wife being there, because of the culture is very male dominant, very separate. It's not co-ed. And my wife and I were like best friends. We want to hang out, together. And it was just tough, and, but it was really awesome at the same time for CrossFit and for the experience of being missionaries and trying to,
So it was
show
a
people
startup gym, and then was it more of like a startup church that you guys were trying to plant, or was it more of what was the mission work consisting of?
The mission work was, they had like some state-run churches, Christian churches, and all my friends there who are Muslims, they are familiar with Christians and they've heard of Jesus, and so it wasn't as much of like we want to start a church. It was more like low-key, we want to make friends and we want to introduce them to Jesus,
Right.
And like for real, and like let them hear the true gospel. If I would never see them again, they've heard the gospel. I get a chance to pray with them for healing for things. Or, there was a man from Pakistan who we'd meet at a coffee shop at night and just talk about the Bible, because his family like had found out he was interested and wanted to kill him. So like, just, it was more like, it wasn't as like, hey everybody, I'm going to preach with a microphone.
Right.
It was through like one-on-one relationship. I mean, everybody was aware that I was a Christian. I got the tattoos. It's kind of hard to hide.
Right.
And I'm not ashamed of that. And they knew that. But it was more like in my attempt to reach other people, it had to be a little bit more low-key,
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
kicked out type
Right.
thing.
So the CrossFit startup gym then, I bet that was, a great place to kind of spread the word a little bit.
Totally. Well, for one, people are going to get hurt from time to time, and so you get to pray for them. And then also like you just automatically have X amount of friends. Whoever shows up is your buddy. You automatically have a buddy. And so like, it wasn't hard. I didn't have to go out of my way to meet people.
Right.
They came to me basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Brilliant idea.
The
Right.
power of the community, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Totally. So just made friends like immediately, first day there. It was very cool.
That is cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys came back stateside, had your second child, and from there you guys lived in Florida, or?
So we bounced around a lot. We lived here for a little bit after my second daughter was born. Then we moved to Florida, like when she was maybe like 4 to 6 months old. And then we lived there for like 5 years until May, when we moved back. So I don't know if that's an exact timeline, but it's kind of like,
Sure.
that's it.
Yeah.
And while we were in Florida, we added 2 more boys.
Just just production, man.
Production.
No
Just
doubt,
child
man.
production.
Fruitfulness.
It's just the way it is, man.
I feel
Can't help
like
it.
for being 29, you have a lot of like practical life experience, you know?
I'd say so.
Wow.
Fortunate in that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's great. So the final move, are you guys permanent here in Greenville now, or are you guys going to bounce back and forth a little bit more?
Yeah. So, well, funny kind of story. Like my wife and I kind of lost our jobs that we were doing in Jacksonville, Florida. Mm-hmm. But we were actually like en route and in the process of getting all of our families on a visa to move to Beijing, China, to work at a CrossFit gym for kind of the same purpose, right? And then coronavirus happened, and it is impossible right now to move your family to China. Like we're just not allowed to.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we feel like that's God closing the door. We've kind of always wanted a little bit to move back to Greenville and just kind of, something different and raise our kids now that they're kind of like need space to run around. So we moved here, and I'm not going to say it's forever, but we really feel like we're supposed to plant roots and really like, so like live here with the mindset of we're going to be here forever. And if we're not, we're not. But like for now, this is it. This is home,
That's great.
Yeah.
On top of, joining CrossFit Guru, you also started your own business, correct?
Yeah.
So how's that going? What is it? What are you doing? What's your business?
So my business is, it's called Rise and Shine, and it keeps developing from like window cleaning to like total home exterior care. And, it's Rise and Shine is the logo or whatever, but it's window cleaning is what it started as. And then we kind of added pressure washing and gutter clean out, and we might even be adding like, house cleaning on the inside and just
Awesome.
So just a service
Yeah.
for people, and it's been really cool.
Yeah.
I'm very inexperienced when it comes to it. I'm like the chillest business owner you'll ever meet. Like I'm not high strung about it or anything.
Right.
But God's totally provided, and we've had plenty of work, and it's been really good, fruitful, and totally taken care of us. And I've really enjoyed kind of being able to run my own ship in that sense.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about entrepreneurship, I think, is kind of creating your own schedule. Mm-hmm. And I think that really paid off for your training for this event, because I feel like you were in that gym quite a bit.
Yeah.
5 a.m.
Yep. Yeah. 5 to 7 a.m. most days of the week. And then like, afternoons, I try to reserve for family time, but like if the kids were napping and it worked out, like I could just go back to the gym because, I can kind of juggle my schedule around what I want, which is totally awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Mike McDonald, the coach. So you got your level 1. You went and started coaching in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. Did you coach when you came back to Florida when you were?
Yeah.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your theory and methodology around coaching. Is it important for you yourself to have a gym? A coach? Do you yourself have a coach? Talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah. So when I moved to the Middle East, I had my level 1, very passionate, but really like, didn't know like that much about, I just got my level 1, I just kind of super inexperienced. After being in the Middle East for a while, I was able to go to Dubai and get my level 2. And that was really eye-opening for me. And that kind of like changed the way I coached, the way for most people, most of the time, I think like doing less well is good. I think sometimes in CrossFit gyms, you see like for the normal class, you see people going in and doing strength and a skill, and also trying to crush a Metcon and cool down and warm up all within an hour. And it's just like a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think the level 2 kind of really opened my eyes to like, wow, like you don't have to do that much. Like intensity is the key to results, and I think that helped me, kind of figure out what was best for most people, and that's not for everybody. There's competitors and different types of athletes that need more or less, but yeah, I don't know. I think I answered the question.
No, you did. I think that's a really good question. I think that there's probably a lot of people who I think I can resonate that with myself. I think trying to get back into fitness after having surgery and getting back into CrossFit, there's so much that I want to do, when I pack the day with, or the session with stuff that I want to do, I feel like I'm not accomplishing much, right?
Yeah.
And when my coach Paulo kind of slows it down and we focus on one movement, trying to get back that rhythm, that's where progress is really found.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, you're exactly right. Intensity is the key, and David, you said something that really kind of resonates with me. Is you said when I pack my day full of things that I want to do, I don't feel like I get anything done.
Right.
And there's this piece of obviously we have to enjoy what we do, but there's this piece of kind of not enjoying everything that you do and suffering through the intensity of doing things that you don't want to do, and that's where you get better. So, and that's one of the things that I've tried to focus on, and I see a lot of coaches trying to focus on is, hey, let's focus on some intensity in some things that you don't want to do, and to make those things more bearable. So yeah, good call out, both of you guys. So I think that's spot on.
Yeah, and then like as far as having a coach, I think it's really important. I think that is what sets CrossFit apart, is having, you're paying a lot of money for semi-personal coaching for the regular Joe or lady that goes to the class. Like, they're looking to get better with somebody that knows their name every single class. And that's what should happen. I think that's what coaches should be able to offer, and like I said, there's the exceptions. There's like the competitive super athletes, and then there's like the super scaled, people in recovery and stuff. But like, yeah, I think it's really important to have a coach. I actually have never had a coach. I mean, I've had like coaches in a class that I'm doing that will coach me up or whatever,
Right.
or like buddies might help me out here and there. But I've actually never had like a real coach, and that's something actually within the last couple of weeks that I'm kind of in search of, kind of thinking about more. How can I really get more competitive and kind of take my CrossFit to the next level or whatever? I think I need a coach,
Yeah, I think it's super important. I think that was kind of my next question, because I feel like since May, I really don't know you very well at all. I mean, I've met you here and there, but this is probably the most I've ever talked to you. I do remember you coming to CrossFit Greer in May. I wasn't participating. I just saw it on Instagram because I was still recovering. But I do remember seeing videos of you in May and then watching you at Crash, and it looked like two different people. Do you feel like training for Crash, the Crucible, and then competing in Crash Crucible kind of changed you as an athlete, changed your mindset a little bit? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure it did. It definitely kind of lit a fire under me to give it everything I could give it, so that I did as well as I could do. Obviously everybody wants that, but like, I went from just going to class and getting a good workout in, like everybody does in a class, to like, okay, I have weaknesses, and I also, to perform for 3 days, I need to up my volume. I need to be able to handle more capacity back to back, and it's not just going in and crushing one workout. It's like many workouts over a couple of days. So like, my volume was the main thing, and consistency, and working my weaknesses, which, like the higher difficulty gymnastics, obviously weight, just all of it, trying to take it to the next level. So it definitely helped me. And I mean, like you guys said, I don't notice it as much, but getting better as much as I can.
Well, that's the thing, man. When you live with yourself, which obviously we all live with ourselves, it's hard to see the changes.
Yeah.
Especially, I think it takes somebody who can kind of step away, or has seen you at one point and then sees you again later, and you're like, dang. Yeah. Like, there's some big changes there.
For sure.
And we're so self-critical of ourselves at all times. I don't care who you are.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, I mean, and that's a good point. Especially with how much you juggle and how many things you have going on. You're a dad, and you're a great dad. I've seen you interact with your kids at the gym, and I've seen you interact with my kid, and you can just tell that you love your family hard, and I admire that. And then you, as a business owner and entrepreneur, and the passion that you have for what you do, and the passion for the people, that you do business with, and then obviously as an athlete, the time you put in the gym, and then most importantly as a husband. How do you balance all that? Because it's got to be hard.
Yeah. No, that's a tough question to answer, just because I don't always really know how. I mean, obviously, I have a very supportive wife, and like she's gracious, and like it helps that she sees the value in what I do and is like a fan of CrossFit herself, and willing to sacrifice. I mean, we all have to sacrifice to do multiple things that we want to do. Like I said, luckily my business is pretty flexible. Mm-hmm. My wife is on board and wants to see me do well too. And also I sacrifice sleep to get up at 4 so that I can go work out for 2 hours and get in that training. So there's kind of like some give and take in different areas, but I honestly think I would be a much worse person to be around if I wasn't regularly in the Word of God, the Bible. I mean, you have to have it. For me, I would be a miserable person to be around, being tired and stressed, if I wasn't regularly trying to connect, and I fail probably more than I succeed in this, but like every day I try to worship and just connect somewhere in my heart in the middle of a busy day with God. And like, that is, I'm sure people have said it before, but like that's the source, that's where the power and the sustainability comes from. It's really not, I'm not that good at stuff.
Right.
It's totally grace from God.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
I think that's huge. I think taking some time in the day, people talk about, meditating. Sometimes I'm like, what is that, right? What is taking the time to meditate? Mm-hmm. I've found recently that I have a huge dog, and he needs a lot of exercise. So
his name's Hank.
Hank, yeah. So every night I take him on a walk, and it's pitch black out there, and I put my headphones on, and I can listen to some worship music, and you can do your prayers right there, and that's my meditation. That keeps me sane at night before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. I think everybody needs some point in the day where they are like, all right, this is my time where I can kind of shut things out, talk to God, meditate on my day, meditate on things I'm thankful for that I've accomplished, and thankful for the grace that given to me to be able to continue to put up with what's going on at home and at work.
That's so good.
Yep.
Well, so it's being in a place where you're self-aware, and we are so disconnected from ourselves because everything of this earth pulls us away from ourselves, right? And I know that sounds kind of crazy because like most of us are self-ish, right?
Very.
But we're not self-aware of, most of us aren't self-aware with our goals and kind of where we're at. So it's kind of funny that this all comes up. I literally just last week had each of my field reps turn in their 3 goals for Q4. And our company's going through a major restructure, and there's a lot of stress and anxiety. And, I just said, hey, look, we're going to focus on our goals. And that's what we're going to focus on in Q4. And we're going to let whatever happens in 2021 happen. But, when you start to get distracted, I want you to revert back to your goals and just ask yourself, am I making progress towards my goals? Is the progress that I'm making me better? And how am I changing because of my goals? And it's all in an effort for us to be a little more self-aware of who we are. And, so I'm a man of faith, and I know you are too, and Harrison as well. And, obviously Mike, you are too, but it doesn't even just have to be, faith-based.
Right.
It's just about understanding where you are and who you are and where you're going. And if you don't take the time to do that, man, life will burn you out.
Yeah.
So you will flame out like that.
I think that's why we call it like the 3 pillars, right? Faith is one pillar, fitness, and then friend/family. Like if one of those pillars or the tripod isn't up, like the rest of the tower is going to fall down.
For sure.
So I think staying strong in that, surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded like yourself, who can hold you accountable, is huge.
Yeah.
Talking about goals, that was actually one of our questions. Are you a goal setter as far as, do you like to set a bunch of little short-term goals and try to achieve those and then eventually get to a long-term goal, or do you just look at the long-term goal and throw a Hail Mary?
I am a bit more short-sighted historically. So like I'm trying to get better at setting greater goals, looking further in the future than I look, which, you know, from the time I was like a missionary living out of a suitcase, I mean, I was kind of there mentally too. Like, we got our daily bread, man. We're good to go. You know, like, and now that I have 4, almost 5 kids, I have to, you know, there's like, we have to kind of know things are going to be taken, you know, to an extent. So like, even just in that, but then also in CrossFit, you know, I set goals, but I'm trying to get further out. You know, I do set goals as far as like things I want to accomplish, maybe a couple months down the road or at the most. So yeah, I'm trying to look, you know, a year down the road, 2 years down the road. Like that's kind of where I'm currently, you know, working on getting better at. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously your next thing that you're probably going to start training for is the Open.
Yeah.
And then qualifying for fittest of the Upstate.
Yeah, that is a goal. That is a goal. And
Sweet.
then, so that's like as far as I've thought, really. And, you know, I want to think past that too.
Right.
But,
yeah. Well, I think that's one of the exciting things about the new structure of, you know, semi-professional CrossFit is that there's kind of a, hey, you've got, you know, the Open, and then locally you've got some pretty high level competitions, right? It's kind of nice to be able to compete at that level in your backyard, and then you've got the fittest the Upstate, so you really get to see how you compete against people here in the Upstate, and then now you've got sanctionals, right? Sanctionals are a little easier to access versus regionals,
right?
So, you know, that'd be a really cool goal.
Yeah.
So
for sure, I think recently I've kind of established that as like I would like to become a sanctional level athlete.
Well, you got those Waza shorts on already. Let's go.
Hey, pretty much all you need.
Yeah, man.
Throw some Metcons on.
That's right. I love it.
So we ask this question a lot, and I think I'll rephrase it, because the greatest success in your life is pretty tough. Like if you ask me that, I'd probably be like, I have no idea, dude. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if any of my successes have really been great, but so you've had a lot of success in your life, but of your successes, which one means the most to you?
I mean, so my greatest success, it sounds cliche being raised as a Christian, but like really, like I was lost and now I'm found. Like God's grace saved truly a wretch like me. That is real to me, and it resonates in my heart. Like, man, that is, if nothing else in my life, like to know that God chose me, like that's huge. So that's number one.
That's cool.
But as far as like, you know, things that I have accomplished myself, I think that I think being the father that I am, you know, I think that I have plenty of failures and mistakes, but I'm there for my kids. I think they all know that I love them like very deeply, and I would die for them in an instant. And that probably is my greatest, because I am a very selfish person. And I think to be able to know that like I have a resolve in myself to like put my kids before me, and then my wife also, but like that's probably my greatest success. I couldn't really say like business or I didn't go to school, you know, I got in trouble growing up, like, so there's not much there. Yeah. But just the grace to be a good dad.
That's cool, man.
My biggest success.
I respect that a lot.
So
as a dad. Yeah, it's the best.
It is.
Yeah.
There's as much as I hate to admit this, I was watching a TikTok video the other day.
They're everywhere.
But there's this like thing that's kind of going around where like 1 second you're hugging your kid as like a little, they have a video of them hugging them when they're like, you know, a year old, and then it cuts to them being like 10. Oh, cool. And how it just goes so fast. Yep. And it really does. I mean, that every time I see something like that, like it hits you as a dad,
I
right?
know.
Oh yeah, dude. I blinked and Nolan's
Yeah.
almost 5.
Yeah, it's scary.
Like he was playing soccer last night and was like trash talking on the field, and I was like, first of all, I was like, that's my boy. And then second of all, it was like, oh my gosh, my kid is old enough to trash talk.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, Reagan's will come home and he'll start talking about something. Like, how are you? I don't even remember when you started like having full sentences,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now we're having a
man.
conversation
Yeah.
about finances.
It's incredible. I know. It flies by. I'll hear, like, that's the one thing that can get me emotionally. I'm pretty, like,
Right.
I don't even know the word.
Stoic.
Stoic.
Yeah,
There's-
that's
Stoic
a
is a
good word.
really good word for you.
Yeah,
I'm pretty stoic,
you are.
I've softened up.
Pretty stoked and stoic.
Both.
Both.
I should get that as a next tattoo.
Yeah.
You should.
Kids will definitely do that to you.
Yeah.
I have a question. I kind of want to bring it back to the athletic part again.
Yeah.
I do remember when you first came back to Greer and I started following you on CrossFit, I saw a post that you had gone, was it vegetarian?
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
No. So at the beginning of the year of 2020, I decided that I wanted to try being a vegan.
Okay, vegan.
So no animal products. Mm-hmm. Whereas vegetarian would have like some dairy probably.
Yeah.
And and if you know me well, like that's not like that weird for me. Like I've tried the keto, I've tried carnivore, I've done, I just like intermittent fasting, extended fasts. Like I like to kind of self-experiment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I did vegan. I was vegan for like 7 months.
Wow.
And I wanted to see what it was like because there's so much stigma around it, that like documentary came out and stuff with all the athletes. Mm-hmm. And I've always been like, under the belief like you need X amount of protein and you get that from eating animals and obviously, right? And so I was like doing CrossFit regularly and like getting better at the beginning of this year. I was like, I'm still improving. So I was like, what happens if I just stop eating animals, So I did. And to be honest, I kept getting stronger. Like, I think is like, it kind of broke the, obviously protein is very important, but I was like, I need 200 grams a day or I will get smaller. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't true for me.
Yeah.
I ate lots of carbs, lots of vegetables, lots of like grains and stuff. And then like the protein sources are like, beans and lentils and
You gotta eat
tofu.
You gotta eat a lot of that to make up for a steak.
Yeah, see,
You do.
It just wouldn't work for me and my wife. I just me
Not in
and
bulking
lentils
season.
and
Right.
There is no bulking season.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
No, it's
I
not.
lost,
Yeah,
I lost a lot of
You
weight
can bulk as a vegan,
Oh,
but
man.
I'm telling you, you can bloat as a vegan
Yeah,
too,
no
and that's
doubt.
exactly
For
what
sure.
I would do.
for sure.
So-
Yeah, I went from like 200 pounds to like 185,
Wow.
180 at my lowest.
You look a lot bigger than 200.
Yeah, I'm 180 pounds right
Like
now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
like 200
believe
on
you.
the
I'm not
dot.
questioning you. I'm just saying you look bigger.
Well, thank you.
We'll weigh you right now. We will do this.
I'm gonna hold you on one shoulder. He'll hold on. We'll test it out. So now as far as nutrition now, do you have a nutrition coach or what are you doing? Do you weigh things? What do you do for that?
No, so like I don't, I'm not that structured, and I do actually. I would say like I have an 80% good diet. I actually had a friend recently, the other day, asked me, "Would you be willing to lose to somebody who gives 100% of their diet?" And I was like, "Ooh, dang!"
Challenge.
I was like, "No, not really. Like I want to."
Yeah.
I was like, "I want to give 100%." So like, kind of like I'm in the search for a coach. I don't know that I'm looking for a nutritionist. Like I know what to do as far as like
Yeah.
how to do it. I just need the discipline to do it,
Right.
and dial it in.
I think that's where coaching comes in. I think
Yeah.
there's a difference between getting counseling and coaching.
Right.
Right.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
anybody can give you numbers.
Right.
A computer screen can give you numbers.
Right.
I mean, most of my conversations with my nutrition clients aren't even about food. It's about, hey, why aren't you taking your 30 minutes a day for yourself? Why aren't you getting the right amount of sleep in? We're having conversations that are outside of food because, don't get me wrong, food's really important. What you put into your body is really important. But what you think into your body and what you allow into your mind impact your body in such a more severe way than what you eat. Now, if you go eat Ben and Jerry's
Well, I
and
was gonna
pizza
say,
every day,
I think
don't get me wrong.
Definitely, what goes
Yeah.
in comes out. So, I mean, if negative things go in, that can be food or
Correct.
psyche. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to come out exteriorly as inflammation, whether that's bad attitudes or getting fat. So,
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah.
all right. What kind of hobbies do you have outside of work and CrossFit and family?
Work, CrossFit, and family. Man, that's pretty. No,
All
I mean,
right. It's
That
a tough
sounds
question.
like Mike McDonald.
I think that's one of the hardest questions on here.
no, I do like I enjoy music. I'm not like the most musical person. I'm not like a great musician, but I love playing the guitar and I like getting together and worshiping Jesus. I love late night conversations with friends when it starts to get deep. I really don't love like surface level stuff. I think it's just a waste of time. I like the hard questions and like the deep, the good talks over,
Sure.
A cup of ice cream or something.
A mug of ice cream.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know you played the guitar. I play the
I
guitar.
do.
Not well,
Yeah, I'm okay.
but I've been playing for about 12 years. And
Same. Yeah, I've been playing for a while. I've always kind of just played and sang.
Yeah.
I like jogging. It's not really CrossFit.
Well, you're about to run tomorrow.
Yeah, got 50K, 50,000 meters to run in my
What
morning.
don't you do, Mike?
And I don't know. What else do I like to do? I just generally like to have a good time, I don't know, hanging out,
yeah,
talking, friends, that kind of stuff.
that sounds like
The good
Mike.
life. Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I said, when I see Mike, it's like, how you doing? I'm good, man. I'm happy. God is good. And it's like, absolutely. That's Mike.
I love traveling.
Yeah.
Man, there's like nothing better than exploring a foreign city with my wife. I guess just get lost in a city for a day. I forgot about that. That's maybe like really high on the list. I mean, that is so fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
me.
It's hard to do when you have kids too, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's what grandma's for.
Right.
So, dude, what was Dubai like? That's one of my bucket lists. I really want to go there.
Yeah, it's not my favorite city, but it's up there. Like, it is cool, man. Like, at least going the way we came, I would drive through the desert for like 5 hours, and then all of a sudden, this like megatropolis just pops up out of the desert, right? And it's enormous.
Like an oasis.
Yeah, it's enormous. It's lights and skyscrapers. I mean, you've seen it in the movies and stuff, but like, it really is like that. Like, you go into the mall and you can get lost legitimately. There's like a snowy ski hill.
I heard about
inside the
that.
mall.
Yeah, you can go skiing in the mall.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
amazing.
It's all oil money. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, they got money there. And there's like every kind of like ethnic group there. It's a very
a
diverse
melting
city.
pot.
It's crazy.
Well, I've heard that that's one of the reasons why it's so peaceful there. So you have all these different types of people.
Right.
So,
There has to be some tolerance.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Almost like a New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it a lot. I went there like maybe 4 or 5 times. Yeah.
That's neat.
That's great. I'll be there soon, someday.
Do it.
All right, rapid fire questions.
Is it that
I
time?
think it's that time.
Uh-oh.
I'm odds, you're evens, right?
Yep, you got odds, I got evens.
All right. Okay. Favorite CrossFit workout? What you got?
Diane.
Diane?
Regular
Oh,
Diane.
Yes. That's my jam. Did you do damn Diane this week? Sorry for the language.
No, I took the day off because I was pretty sore.
Man, dude, it was fun.
It looks
It
fun.
hurt, but it was a lot of fun. You got to do it.
I will. I think I would like it.
I'll do it again with you because
Okay.
I just love Diane that much.
I'm down. Yeah, Diane. Anything short like that. Fran, Diane, Jackie. Benchmarks are kind of like
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, benchmarks are fun.
You can have Jackie.
Okay, fine.
I'll take Diane.
What's your favorite CrossFit movement?
Oh, I love a good heavy snatch. Handstand walking.
That's
a
2 weeks in a row.
I
That was
like
Amy
handstand
Fritz's
walking.
favorite too.
It's just so fun.
It is
You hit
fun.
a clean one and you're like, oh.
And the snatch,
Technical, man.
that's
Super
the thing.
technical.
The snatch is one of the most athletic movements you can do, right? As far as
Yeah.
lifting.
Yeah.
So if you can dial down on that, like you feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, it feels
for
really
sure.
good.
Yeah, when you catch that good snatch, then you had a good day.
Very satisfying.
So, I know you read your Bible every day, but have you read any books outside of your Bible lately?
I started a little while ago. I'm really bad at reading. But I started reading a book called Redeeming Love.
Okay.
I've read it before, and I started reading it again recently. It's kind of based off of the story in the Bible about Hosea. It's about this guy who marries a prostitute. It's a really, really good book. I highly recommend it. Redeeming Love.
Okay.
Have you tried Audible?
Once.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's hard for me to absorb the content, but still, like, because I don't have a lot of time, or I don't make time to sit down and just read.
Right.
But it's good to...
It's a good way to get it in.
Yeah.
I love
While you're
Audible.
moving, like driving.
For sure.
Yeah.
I use it as part of like my recovery. So like I'll take an Epsom salt 2 or 3 times a week, and I'll just sit for 30 minutes and listen to a book.
That's a good idea.
I do that.
that's
It's
really
like a podcast.
Yeah, that's a really good
for sure.
idea.
For sure.
Yeah, because while I'm working, I have my headphones in, so I can totally do that.
Yeah, man. All right. Speaking of short workouts, what song do you play when you're ready to rip out a 5-minute AMRAP?
Ooh, good question. Just like not things that people normally listen to when they work out. Like
What?
Like, you know, just some like really feely worship songs, or like some Ed Sheeran or Chris Stapleton. Like people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Man, you gotta." I don't like the rage. I like the feelings.
Feel the spirit.
If I can feel kind of sad, I'm probably gonna work out hard. It's a weird thing.
All right.
I'm not like a fast music guy, really. You know?
I think I'm the same.
I don't know.
I don't like sappy
Yeah,
stuff, but
right.
like slower stuff.
Whenever we go in the gym, Katy Perry's playing.
That's Reagan.
Yeah, okay.
And you know that's Reagan. No, if it's just me, I'm typically have my phone connected and I'm listening to something of my own. So
Yeah.
but
Man, I've
yeah,
been on the Big Daddy Weave kick lately.
Really?
Big Daddy Weave.
I've never really heard him past what I've heard on the radio.
Yeah,
like a few
well,
songs.
that's probably what all I listen to. You know, I don't have
His
like
radio?
I don't have his CD.
yeah.
Okay.
Do people own CDs
The
anymore?
tape.
Yeah, right. But I've
track.
been listening to a couple of the same songs over and over.
Yeah.
Go for it, dude.
So favorite cheat meal?
It's gonna end with cheesecake, and it's gonna start with cheese fries, and it's probably gonna have like just. I mean,
And you were vegan for a while.
I was a vegan for a while. Probably just like a big, greasy, delicious burger from
Yeah.
like Five Guys or something. I don't know.
Oh
No,
yeah.
I'm right there with you.
You know.
Oh man, I had a big greasy burger the night of the competition in Sunday night.
Smart.
Oh, Five Guys. I tore it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Bacon cheeseburger, fries. Just destroyed it. 2 days
Yes.
later, did it again. It was amazing. So good.
So good.
Mike, tell us something weird about yourself that no one would believe.
Ooh.
Something weird.
Dang, man. Can we circle back to that one?
Yeah, we sure can. Not a
I gotta
problem.
think about it for a minute.
Well, this one's not going to be any easier.
Okay, fine.
So, if you could be any piece of gym equipment, what would it be and why?
Oh, I'd probably be a 53-pound kettlebell.
Okay. You can do a lot with kettlebells.
And I just love the kettlebell. It's one of those things like you can just do it forever, even though it sucks. Like you just could do another rep.
Just keep throwing that
you always
around.
could do another one.
Well, there's a whole training protocol with just kettlebells.
Yeah.
So, it's
I'd
pretty
probably
crazy.
do kettlebell.
It is one of the 100 kettlebells a day. I'm trying to remember who marketed that. But 100 kettlebells per day is all you really need to do. Kettlebell swings per day is all you really need to do to stay fit, if you think about it. It works literally every muscle in your
Everything.
body.
Believe it. Maintain your current level of whatever you got.
Yep.
For
I
sure.
believe that.
So,
And you can do that balls to the walls, high intensity.
Yeah.
If you could work out with any non-local games CrossFit athlete, who would it be?
That's a good one. Always been a huge fan of Cara Saunders. My wife and I.
My wife
I'm an
loves
even
Cara
bigger
Saunders.
fan now that she was pregnant
I
and
know.
qualified at the games.
Yeah.
Dude, she's ridiculous.
She
She
is
is a
so good.
beast.
Like, I had a hamburger on Tuesday and I wouldn't have qualified for the gym's workout the next day, you know? And she had a baby.
She's an
Yeah,
animal.
she's
less than a year ago.
Insane. Yeah, she's inspiring. I know my wife, she's a huge fan of her.
Male
sure.
athlete, I'd probably go with like Lucas Hoberg. He's just so funny. Like
I like
his
Lucas.
stuff on social media is so funny.
He's got some
I think he'd be so fun to hang out with.
And that's all of a sudden like a thing now because he hasn't always been that way.
He's really funny now.
Yeah.
Post some fun videos.
I find myself being more inspired by the female athletes though. Like I love watching women work out. It's just something like amazing, and not in a perverted way, like
I didn't say
like
anything.
genuinely. Yeah, but your face did.
Yeah, no, they're
like
impressive.
genuinely watching some of these females throw around, like this weekend, throw around the weight they're throwing around
Yeah.
So
is
strong.
amazing to me
Yeah.
because like strong is beautiful. There's a reason why I only
I
work with
agree.
female athletes, and it's because I admire the effort that women have to put into it because they're not wired to be strong. Right? Naturally, they're not wired to be strong. And some of these women are so strong. It's amazing. It's super admirable.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out a quick question. This is not scripted.
All right.
Ready.
Going off the cuff.
Going off the cuff, going back to Instagram. So
Okay.
you had a post the other night with several different questions. And one of them was, do you wipe standing up or sitting down?
Yes. I'm a sitter.
He's a sitter.
But I know personally like a handful
Really?
of
Oh,
standers.
man, that's weird. I just really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you prop your
I
leg?
always have been.
You prop your leg?
Huh?
Like, you prop your leg up?
No, I just
No, like
stand
legit
up.
stand up on 2 feet.
Yeah.
Butt off the seat.
My butt's too big. Like the seat assists.
Yeah.
So it's changed a little bit since I had surgery. I had to sit down, so now I'm kind of more of a sitter. But traditionally, I was a stander.
That's
so funny.
the
Yeah.
craziest thing ever. I didn't even know people did that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Now I know.
It's
I'm
like
educated.
a silent majority possibly. Who
Are we
knows?
editing this out on the podcast, or are we going to keep it?
No, we're gonna keep it.
Definitely kept.
Yeah. I want everyone to
People
know
need
that
to know.
David
They
is
all need to know.
David is a standing
He's
wiper.
the unique guy.
I had people responding to that like, who the heck stands? I'm
Yeah.
like, well now you
Well,
know.
now you know. All
David
right.
Carter,
If you listen to the Apogee
DPT.
Podcast,
Yeah.
Oh
dude,
man,
it's just much more clean. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever tried it outside of like camping.
I don't know that I want to try it. Even camping though, I still would squat. Well, we just found out something weird about
There's
David.
something weird about me.
Yeah.
What about
There you
you? Did you think of anything yet?
And it's so hard to think of something. I'm just not that interesting. I don't know. I'm still thinking.
That's fine.
I'm still thinking.
We'll
get
post
you-
it on Instagram.
I will. I will
Post it
say
on
something.
Post it on Instagram when you
Yeah.
think of it.
Okay.
Speaking of Instagram, where can people follow you at?
My Instagram is Mike McDonald _33.
You got,
got
it.
it
Almost
right.
got it.
I
Yeah.
had to
my
look
man.
at it.
No, but we've had so many people not know their Instagram handles.
I have a notification and I read that it was because I just don't have it memorized.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
not super technological, but I'm trying to post on Instagram as much as I can, just to. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say before we close here, Mike?
I mean, I feel very privileged to have been chosen to be on this podcast. I think it's cool. I
Yeah.
think it was a really fun experience.
You came highly recommended.
Wow.
We actually had, I don't know, I would say at least 5 people come up to me and asked for you to be on the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I think you have more people following you and
You got
even
fans, bro.
even looking up to
Weird.
you
That is weird.
than you know. So
Very weird, man.
You're practically a local legend.
I just feel like a normal guy, you know?
That's
Very
you
much
are.
a normal guy.
You're like
Yeah.
the brawny man of CrossFit. You know?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think?
I think so.
Oh.
I'm excited to watch you over the next couple years.
Hey.
I think it's going to be fun.
You know.
And before we close, I do want to say thank you for your service in the military. I think,
And the mission field.
and the mission field. We think the world of that.
Thank you.
And thank you for just kind of being a leader in pretty much every field it seems like you've been in, and really just maintaining what, like I've said several times today, those 3 pillars of I think what really can set us apart and find true success in life endeavors. So anyways, that's my little soapbox.
That was his stoic.
That was nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, man, glad we're friends. Keep in contact with the podcast and share it.
All right.
All right, man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, you heard it here.
Apogee Podcast.